So, yeah. Hey, welcome to the View. Well, sometimes they say if you dream hard enough, you dream long enough, good things come. The 108th time was it was wonderful to see.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm glad because Cleveland got to get their basketball their rings because they won this year, and so they've been waiting for that.
Well, a lot of people came out on social media going, "I've never been this excited for someone else's team."
Yeah,
it was like a uniting
because you just wanted it for them, and it seems like the last few years, magic has been happening for teams that maybe have been under.
Well, this team,
under the place.
I mean, in 1908, all those people who were born that year are dead now, except for Larry King. But I mean, that's a long time ago.
Teddy Roosevelt was president.
Yeah.
I remember him well. I dated
just remembered that right here. Yeah.
But you know what upset me about all of this? You know, for families who've been going and taking, you know, giving their tickets and passing them on, I wish that Wrigley Field had a very specific block of tickets that weren't out of the price range for families, because this was really meaningful for folks.
Yeah.
And it would have been nice if the tickets, there'd been a block of tickets that weren't $5,000.
They were,
you know?
Tickets were that
Tickets
high?
were insane, and even up in the nosebleeds, it was like, it would have been nice to just, for families who've been waiting and waiting and waiting. I just wish that. And there was also a tweet last night that freaked a lot of people out because it was the first, I guess it was posted in 2014, and the quote said, in 2016 series, the Cubs versus the Indians, and then the world will end with the score tied in Game 7 extra innings. Hashtag apocalypse. Well, they were kind of half right. We're still here. But it was
So far.
After the election.
We also had the yearbook photo from the guy Michael Lee that everyone's looking for, by the way. I Googled him, and everyone's like, where's Michael Lee? In 1993, he predicted Chicago Cubs 2016 world champions.
Yes.
No one can find this guy.
wow.
Yeah, he's like the hardest booking around.
I need to find him so I can figure out what's going to happen in my life in the next 10 years, and maybe he can predict some stuff for me.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay.
Moving on, yeah. So the biggest stars in country music met in Nashville at the CMA Awards, and one of the standout moments was Beyonce and the Dixie Chicks jamming to her hit Daddy's Lessons. Take a look.
Wow.
That was amazing.
It was. And, you know, for me, when I saw it, it kind of felt like watching the Grammys, like in the 80s, when all kinds of people would be jamming together. It didn't matter what their specific music style was, but everybody got together and jammed, and watching her, and then seeing Taylor Swift come out, you know, was really, people, again, you know, because nobody can let anything late. People were upset saying,
Some people.
if Beyonce can sing at the CMAs, will Carrie Underwood perform at the BET Awards? If she gets nominated, probably. I mean, it's like, music is universal.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, and they do a crossover performance every year. Last year it was Justin Timberlake, and then before that, Meghan Trainor, Taylor Swift. You also had Ariana Grande. You've had it, and so I'm not quick to jump to this, but the one thing different about her is that she is black. Like that they always do a crossover performance.
well, you know, it's not like there's a whole lot of black country stars. So, you know, people didn't know who Charlie Pride was.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't know who Charlie Pride was. So they don't realize that Darius Rucker is one of the greatest country singers. You know, but the idea that, you know, country music and soul music and all music, and all is blended.
Yeah.
It didn't start out like this. It started out like this.
Yeah.
It started out as music.
Yeah, now Ray Charles apparently won 54 years ago, had a million-selling country album.
Yes, he did.
Ray Charles, the great Ray Charles.
There was also a lot of feedback on Twitter and social media about Kenny Chesney's face during her performance.
During whose performance?
That
during
resting
Beyonce's
bee face will get you.
Yeah, saying, "You peasant, fix your face when you see the queen." Because he was like,
Someone else wrote slay queen.
that looks like-
I think that's just men not emoting emotion sometimes.
So I think he looks like he's attracted to her. Look at that again. look at that picture.
Where?
Every award show, they get a shot like this.
That's a man checking out that woman.
Miss B.
Yeah.
B.
They always get that, though. Remember when they caught Chrissy Teigen and her face? Like, they always get reaction shots where people are getting caught.
Yeah.
You got to always just sit like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the
And your
time.
teeth get dry and your
Yeah, very
lipstick,
annoying.
but it's tough.
Vaseline.
And if you missed the CMAs last night, make sure you watch on abc.com and the ABC app for star-studded performances you can't see anywhere else. Boom. Okay. Another group who probably didn't love Beyonce's performance are the neo-Nazis who say they're plotting a show of force on Election Day. Apparently, they're setting up cameras to monitor polling places, and they will hand out liquor and marijuana in ghetto neighborhoods.
They are at it.
You know, part of this is why people don't take you seriously. Because, you know, you can be a neo-Nazi, but you can be smarter. Okay? You can be smarter. You know, when you go in for a stereotype, not like I'm doing with you, but when you go in for a stereotype, it just shows us you're dumb as hell and should not have a voice anywhere.
Unfortunately, society is always going to have people like this, no matter what. But I think the good news is the number of people that see this and get sick and stand up to it is so much bigger and stronger. These people don't stand a chance.
We'll see.
No, these people don't stand a chance. I don't know anyone that would look at that and say this is okay or think it's a good idea.
Can I just say that Donald Trump is not helping the situation? To Pennsylvania supporters, he said, go down to certain areas and watch and study and make sure other people don't come in and vote 5 times. What does he mean? It's like a little code for certain areas in Pennsylvania where he's losing.
This is different, though. I mean, you can't pin it all on Donald Trump.
He's not,
you can't pin it all on any political candidate.
You can pin it on Donald Trump because had he not started this conversation out like that, had he not started the conversation out like this, it might not be happening this way. So you can point right to him and go, this is why people are angry.
The minute he said Mexicans coming in.
He's disavowed all the stuff that's like
2
this.
days ago. 2 days ago, baby. He's been running for...
Listen, I'm no Trump supporter, but you have to be able to separate the candidate from... There's going to be lunatics. There's going to be lunatics that... There were lunatics that backed President Obama, lunatics that backed Sarah Palin. Now there's lunatics that back Donald Trump. That can't speak to the masses.
Let me explain. Wait, hold on. This is not about the lunatics. This is about what he has said.
Right, but he
has said this. Listen, you know, I'm sorry, did I hear you? He said go to certain neighborhoods. He said that. He said that, baby. He didn't, it didn't come from somebody else's mouth. When you put this crap out there, the crazy folks, they're listening.
Well, you know,
and that's what we've been fretching about.
Don't you think the minute he said Mexicans are rapists coming in, that these neo-Nazis were like, hey, we got our man?
No, I'm not saying. Look, I'm not saying that those people can't. Look, I'm no Trump supporter, and I have an issue with the way he presents his message. Don't get me wrong, but I'm wary of anyone or any time we look at a candidate and we say we want to blame psychos, lunatics, extremists, all on him. He holds some responsibility. He's in a position of leadership. He has to watch his words. He has to watch what he says. But no matter what he says, there's going to be people like this, and they need to be accountable for their actions.
Go ahead, baby.
They are on both sides, though, because again, I don't want to always. I'm not trying to defend Donald Trump, but there are the Veritas videos that showed Democrats that were aligning with the DNC and the Clinton campaign. That were inciting violence at Trump rallies. So it happens on...
Yeah, I saw that, and I believe that some of that is quite questionable. But that's not... What? Okay, sorry. We'll come back to it if we want, and if we don't, we'll go on to something else. We'll be right back.
Next, it's the hottest topic in America. Clinton campaign manager Robby Mook reveals how they're handling an October surprise that rocked the race.
I think it's safe have to say there's never been a presidential election quite like the one we're trying to live through right now. And given the events of the last, I don't know, couple of months, no one can be counting the seconds more until November 9th than this man. Please welcome Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, Robby Mook. So, Robby, you know, as the media is want to do, they're saying this one is winning, this is going to be a landslide, he's going to win, she's going to win too. What's going on, really, realistically? What do you see?
Yeah. The election is going to be really, really close. Everybody needs to get out and vote. And what I've been saying all along is this is going to be the highest turnout election in our history as a country. And the statistics are bearing that out. We're seeing high turnout across the board all over the country. Nobody wants to wake up the morning after the election and say, gosh, this historic event happened and I didn't participate. You know, we're going to tell our kids and grandkids, and the choice is so important. The two directions these two candidates are proposing couldn't be more different. So this is going to come down to the wire. Lots of states are competitive. Everybody should participate.
You know, something's been bothering me since this whole thing started with watching Donald Trump, because he lies all the time. In fact, PolitiFact, which is a highly respected, nonpartisan website, says that he lies 70% of the time. Hillary lies 38% of the time, okay? And yet she is perceived as the liar. I hear it constantly. Why is that?
You know, Hillary has been fighting all her life for kids and families. That is the passion of her career and of her life. And when you get down there and wrestle and fight for what you believe in, people criticize you. I would argue when you are the first woman to be nominated by a major party to be a presidential candidate, there's a lot of headwinds you face. But what's always happened is when she gets into office, she puts her nose to the grindstone, she gets things done, and people trust her to deliver real results. She was reelected by huge margins here in New York State, and the same thing's going to happen when she's president.
My theory about a woman running, I just was thinking about this. You know, when a woman is running for office, nobody likes it. Nobody likes an ambitious, a woman like that. Nobody likes that. But once they're in, then she's like mommy. You know, she's mommy now, and everybody's going to like her then, because that's what happened when she was in the Senate. Am I right?
Exactly. No, she left the Secretary of State's office. She had a 70% approval rating. She was the most popular person in public life because she gets to work, she gets things done. She is a workhorse, not a show.
And will they work with her? Okay.
Yeah.
I want to get to the October surprise, because I think one of the concerns with respect to Hillary Clinton has been trustworthiness, and you've seen that in the polls. And now you have this news that the investigation has been reopened. FBI comes out as a result of finding these new emails on Uma Abedin and Anthony Weiner's computer linked to their investigation. Now they've reopened the investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails. This concerns me as a voter. I'm concerned about her trustworthiness. Does it concern you that this investigation has been reopened and you're going to have to sort of explain yourself through the next few days, and people are going to vote knowing that this is on the table again?
Look, I'm not concerned. I think this email issue has been out there for over a year now. I think it's baked into voters' decision-making. Look, we were really surprised on Friday. We had no idea this was coming. It isn't actually a reopening of anything. The director just said, hey, we found some new emails. I am totally confident when the FBI says what they have, they get the information out there, there's going to be nothing new. He said he didn't even know what the emails were. We found out he didn't even have a warrant to look at them at the time he sent out the letter. We're just saying get the information out there on the table. The voters are smart. Hillary has been cleared on this. She'll be cleared again, and we'll move forward and focus on what we care about in this election, which is kids and families and how we're helping people afford education and health care, and keeping our country safe.
Well, you were the only one that was questioning the timing of this. So yesterday, President Obama faulted how the FBI handled the emails in the investigation. So I just want to ask you flat out, do you think that Comey is trying to alter the election in Donald Trump's favor?
I don't know what he's doing, and I thought it was very strange. There's protocols that you don't announce things right before an election, but also that the FBI doesn't comment on anything that they're investigating. And, we've been told they're investigating Donald Trump's associates' connections to the Russians, that one of his foreign policy advisors met with a sanctioned official in Moscow. They're not putting that information out there. So we're just asking, I don't know, and I'm not like an FBI guy. I'll leave that to the professionals. We just let's get all the information out there. Yeah. Just let people know stuff. They'll make a smart decision, and I think they'll elect the first woman president of the United States.
Robby, Hillary herself has come out demanding full transparency in regard to these emails. And I know that they're not commenting because they don't know or have the technology to get through all of these that fast. But can Huma Abedin, because it was a shared computer with her husband, not just come forward and say, don't worry, guys, nothing's on? Can she speak about this? Because she's got to have an idea. If someone hacked my account, I'd go right to, what if I sent on that account? You know, like, is there anything that she could share or shed light on?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, the FBI hasn't said whose emails these are, what emails they are, what they contain. They haven't said anything. They haven't said what device they're on. All we're going on are these leaks that are coming out of the FBI. So, you know, I'm sure when the FBI comes forward or contacts her and says, we want information or we want you to explain XYZ, or they release it and she can react to it, she will come out. Here's the thing I will say. Huma Abedin is one of the smartest, most professional, fabulous human beings I've ever worked with. I think she's a great person, and I'm sure she will be happy to clear up.
It's so annoying that Anthony Weiner has stuck his 2 cents into this, and more than that. It's so annoying. It's like, why is he even in the conversation?
Well, I think one of the things that's clear is that we're not going to have an answer by the time people have to vote. We're not going to know. This investigation is not going to be closed by that time. So the concern people have is then you're going to have a president-elect potentially that's under FBI investigation, and people are saying, could we have a constitutional crisis? What does that look like to the rest of the world? Does that concern you?
You know, it doesn't. First of all, let's be clear that Donald Trump is supposedly under investigation, too.
Yeah.
We know he didn't pay his taxes for 20 years.
He's got a fraud case going on with Trump University.
He's got a fraud case. He's being sued. I mean, Donald Trump's got a lot of problems, and I would argue we're going to have a lot of problems if Donald Trump becomes our president.
We know that.
No, I'm not concerned. Look, the American people just want a president who is going to get in there and get to work. Yeah, it's up to the Congress if they want to play ball. But I think the voice of the Americans is going to be clear and concise on this. Just get to work. Just do things that help everyday people. Stop the fighting, stop the bickering, get something done.
And we're going to now stop the talking. We're going to go and come back with more of Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, Robby Mook.
We are back with Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, Robby Mook, at the table. Robby, we're back. Hanging out. We're so comfortable that we're just hanging out. We're just chilling. I want to ask you, CNN just parted ways with Donna Brazile, reportedly for giving the Clinton campaign questions. You unequivocally tell us that Hillary Clinton did not see those questions in advance.
Well, I haven't seen the emails in question. I'll be honest with you. They're dumping out, these emails were stolen by the Russians, given to WikiLeaks, and they're dumping them out every day, thousands of them. I haven't been, taking my time up every day to look at them. Here's what I do know is that Bernie Sanders, senior advisor, said that he was in constant communication with Donna Brazile as well, that he wouldn't like those emails to be out there. So I mean...
Is that an I don't know? I don't know if she saw the questions in advance?
I am not aware of any questions getting fed in.
Okay.
Look, here's the other thing I'll say. Hillary Clinton is tough. She can take on Bernie Sanders. She can take on Donald Trump. She doesn't need to be fed anything. She can get out there and take these people out on her own.
You need Bernie Sanders supporters to get out and vote, but the biggest problem they've had is that they found that from the start that the DNC was working against Bernie. I'm sorry, I'm so scatterbrained. Against Bernie to get Hillary the nomination. So what do you want to say to Bernie supporters?
Right. Look, we need everybody to get out and vote in this election, particularly Bernie supporters. We all need to come. Thank you. Yes, we all need to. Look. Obviously, I'm biased. Donald Trump cannot become our next president. He is unfit. He will be a disaster for this country. And the person I think we should all listen to in this situation is Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders has endorsed Hillary Clinton. Bernie Sanders has said that everybody needs to get out there and vote for her. Bernie Sanders worked with Hillary to develop her college affordability plan, which would allow middle and working class families to send their kids to state universities tuition free. The stakes are too high. So we got to come together. And we're seeing Bernie supporters 90% plus supporting Hillary. That's more Sanders supporters than Hillary supporters who support her.
I have to ask this question because it's going to be tough if it goes the other way. How many days is it going to take her to have to adjust to the fact, if she doesn't win, that she has to be supportive of him?
Look, I'm actually glad you asked this question.
Thank you.
Because, no, I really...
Well, I'm trying to, you listen, you know what? There are things that we all have to deal with, and this is a possibility, and so I want to know that she's going to be more gracious than he said he would be. So I want to know how...
And that's why I'm glad you asked this question, because there's one thing that we all have to agree on as Americans, and that is that we have to have a peaceful transfer of power in this country. And when somebody wins the presidency, everybody's got to get behind them as Americans and support them and help them be successful. And when you look at Hillary's history on this, she lost a really tough primary against now President Obama. And when he was sworn in as president, he turned and said, Hillary, I want you to be my Secretary of State. She stepped up and she did that. And so...
So are you saying that if Hillary wins, Donald Trump will be his Secretary of State?
You know, there's a lot of different options. He'll be great. He'll be great. He'll be huge.
Let's talk about the black vote for a little bit, because there's a lot of talk about early voting in states around the country, and they're seeing that the black vote is not as enthusiastic as it was for Obama. First of all, is that true? That makes her crazy, because tell them what you get into.
Well, because, you know, if you're hearing about voter intimidation in places like Florida, I'm not going to be in a rush to go out and vote. Election day is the 8th. So for people to start saying, oh, black people aren't coming, you don't know who's coming out yet. You don't know. Stop. And this is what makes me crazy. And it must make you guys crazy, because it's like, oh, she doesn't have the man vote. Oh, she doesn't have the woman's vote. No, we don't have. So are you guys freaking out about this? Are you waiting till
Does it hurt the campaign when they say things like that, or does it help and say to these voters in particular, get out and vote?
I think, well, first of all, we're seeing historic turnout across the board. I think we have to have faith that every American is going to do their civic duty and show up and vote. But we're not taking anything for granted on this campaign. Secretary Clinton, her first policy speech of this campaign, her first one was on criminal justice reform. She went out this February, talked about systemic racism in this country. I know that Hillary's going to be a champion for African Americans, but let's put everything else aside. We all have a duty to get out and vote. We're not going to take any vote for granted. We're going to work hard, and I think we're going to see
she's going to be everybody's president, yes?
Exactly.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
All those people that have been following Trump, who've been complaining about that they don't have jobs, et cetera, et cetera. Is she speaking to those people at the moment?
She is. She's talked about how she wants to be a president, as Whoopi said, for all Americans, whether you vote for her or not. You know,
is it getting across to them?
It will. It will. We've got a few days left, and we're going to work up until the last minute. You know, Hillary's proposed the biggest job creation package since World War II, biggest investment in jobs. That's what this election is about. We're trying to talk about that. There's a lot of other stuff that comes out of left field. This is about getting people jobs, getting wages rising, helping people send their kids to college, afford health care, and that's what we're going to talk to in this closing month.
This week we saw former Miss Universe Alicia Machado do some introductions, and I know, all right, Whoopi, some of these polls are showing he's closing the gap with female voters. How is that possible?
You know, the polls go all over the place, particularly these public polls. I don't look at those so much, but let's talk about what you brought up, which is what matters here. Our president has to respect women. It's not okay to demean women. It's not okay to shame them. It's not okay to call people, you know, Miss Piggy. And what Donald Trump did...
It's not okay to grab them.
And it's not okay to grab. No. And you know what was so disturbing about that video that came out is that he said he could get away with it because he's famous.
Yeah.
I mean, just think, if that is the mindset of our president, that I'm a big deal, I can get away with it.
Yeah.
That is dangerous.
Very scary.
That is dangerous for women. It's dangerous for all of us. And that's why it's so important that people get out there and vote.
So, Robby, some people, you want to ask something else? Some people say that I'm not bipartisan. I don't know why they say that. that I have one-sided.
I don't know why that happens.
You might be a bigger fan of her mother than her.
I know. Well, you know, it's called The View, and that's it. That's my view. But anyway, yesterday I was trying to be bipartisan, so I gave Trump's campaign manager, Kellyanne Conway, a little gift of it's a gift certificate to the Trump Plaza Spa. Now, and I want you to have it too. I'm not saying he's going to honor it, but here it is.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay?
Is this bag made in America? Or
It's
is it,
actually made in China.
Okay,
but
there we
whatever.
go.
Robbie, thank you so much
Thank
for
you
being
guys so
here.
much.
I just want to know, we spoke to Kellyanne yesterday, and she said if Donald Trump wins, that she's going to come back and she's going to bring him back. Or if Hillary Clinton wins this election, can we count on you bringing her back to the
I'm
table?
sure Hillary will want to be here. I'll be on vacation, but she'll want to be here.
Big thanks to Robby Mook. We will be right back.
Nine students at a South Carolina elementary school were suspended for violating the school's drug policy because they were caught with happy crack, which is just a mix of Kool-Aid mix and sugar. School officials claim that substances that even look like drugs are a violation. So someone needs to remind me, what drugs look like Kool-Aid again?
You said this. Yeah, like it's...
So it's not like white powder in a bag.
No, it's like Pixie Stick. You remember Pixie Sticks?
Pixie sticks,
The better
Fun
question
Dip.
is, are there drugs that look like Kool-Aid? Because I don't...
No,
Do they come in multicolored powders?
I have not found any drugs that look like Kool-Aid.
Okay, just checking.
It is quite addictive, though, the happy crack, because I remember being addicted to it when I was 12 years old.
Now explain what it is. Explain what it is.
It really is. It's Kool-Aid. It's Kool-Aid, Tang, and it's sugar. Kids would put it in a baggie, and then you're just dipping your finger in it to get the sugar buzz. And I remember I would go months, and I keep eating this at school. And one day I got in the car with my mom, and I went, I think I was coming down off the sugar high. And I'm like, I can't take it anymore, Mom. I keep eating Kool-Aid in the baggie, and I gotta stop.
What'd she do?
And she was like, we're gonna go to Nutrisystem and learn how to eat properly. We did. Went to Nutrisystem.
So you literally drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, but they're getting taken out of school. I feel like the punishment is a little harsh. Because I used to smoke those candy cigarettes.
Yes.
Where it was you know the ones that you could puff the powder
Where the
out?
powder would come out, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the
when
bubble
it was
gum.
okay to give your kids candy cigarettes.
Yeah.
They were so good, though, and they were gum inside.
Strange things. We drank all kinds of stuff.
See, I would have been a bad kid if I was raised today, getting busted for my gummy cigarettes.
Yeah, because adults always think kids have an agenda, like, oh, they're trying to mimic drugs or they're candy cigarette because they want cigarettes. No, it tastes good. It tastes good.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Kids like sugar. But you know what we like as women? Many women look to British Vogue for the latest fashion trends. Did you know that? But they're getting a little... I think that you mean they're getting flack for their new issue. It says slack there. They're getting a little slack. They're not getting slack, they're getting flack for this new issue that asks whether cleavage is over. Maybe it can be toned down a little. But is cleavage ever over?
You know what? Tell that to the guy on the crosstown bus who's always looking at my boobs.
Or Beyonce's outfit at the CMT.
She had that.
And she kind of sets the trend more than British Vogue, doesn't she? I mean, she's like a big... You can't get rid of cleavage, because the bottom line is if you try to squeeze into, okay, a pair of jeans that's like too little, sometimes I do that with bras because I'm not ready to accept the bigger size, so I squeeze them in, and there's like a lopsided like crack down the middle.
Oh, mine are naturally like that.
Yeah, well, I can't... I mean, it's not like I wear low shirts, but I can't stop the cleave. Like, it's there.
I can stop the cleave. I don't have any cleavage, so this, it's like I can stop the cleave.
Look at how on trend you are.
I'm on trend today. I thought it was discriminatory, though, a little bit. And a lot of women who are more fuller figured said, well, I can't help it. You know, if I wear, there's a lot of things that I wear that it just automatically shows cleavage. I don't have any boobs, so I have the luxury of if I don't want to show it, there's nothing to show. But somebody who has a fuller body...
You're getting all worked up about
No, because, you know...
Boobs are a sensitive subject for Jen.
I'm trendy today. I might not be trendy tomorrow.
Really not pay attention to anything like that the fashion magazines tell you, because basically the fashion industry is looking for a hanger to put a dress on it.
A what?
A boob hanger.
It's a hanger. The reason those models are so
what?
a hanger.
How are you saying that?
A hanger. What am I saying wrong?
Is there a D?
A hanger. A hanger.
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 What am I saying?
Hanger.
Oh, a hanger. Well, I'm New Yorker, yeah.
She got a hanger.
A hanger. So
You're talking about a hanger for like clothes,
I'm
right?
looking for that kind of hanger.
I need to stick you
So
right away.
these models
Right.
are like hangers, okay?
I'm on. Does that make them hangry?
It does, because they're hungry.
All right. We'll be right back. Welcome back. People are living longer and retiring later, which could be partially responsible for the fact that plastic surgery for people 65 and older has more than doubled, like your chin. Is this something? I don't know. Is this something people should be thinking about in terms of retirement if they feel they need it?
If they want to keep their job in this society, you have to look right after a certain age. I think it's happening in 30-year-olds
You're
also.
a female, that is, because
The men are doing it.
Men are doing it a
Yeah,
lot.
but
Men are doing it.
they
at
do it,
almost-
but there's a
no,
lot less
equal,
pressure.
No, I think this is equal. I think people, when they think they need to look younger, I think everybody feels it.
I think the issue, though, is that people are doing it so young. I have friends in their
that's worse,
early
I think.
20s. I go to a dermatologist's office, and you have people in their early 20s getting Botox, and they're young. There's this idea that before it used to be, you get past a certain age, and you were trying to maintain the face you had when you were younger, or try to like go back in time, or you could empathize with that. I mean, everybody changes, and you look in the mirror and you say, I kind of want that, but. These are young people. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing going on, and it's becoming an obsession with staying that way, and it's all physical, and it's all.
Well,
I remember
then
with
you
Audrey-
have that baby.
But remember,
and then the people see what you really look like.
Who's worried about the daddy? Who's the mommy?
I love looking at my parents, and they've not had any plastic surgery, and I look at their faces, and they've aged so gracefully and beautifully, and I'm like, those lines are from my mom taking care of me and the kids, and it's life and it's love, and I love looking at my parents.
Let me ask you a question. Are they on television?
I'm not saying it's bad to do it. I think everyone should do what they're comfortable with, but I'm just saying I love looking at
But
that.
these are people who need to keep their jobs mostly.
The problem is everyone that gets plastic surgery,
I never had a knife taken to this face. I said that in the commercial. Only shots. A little shot will do you.
the problem is that everyone that does it isn't achieving what they want. They all just now look like they're in a club of people that have played with their face. So it's not like you're actually getting anything back.
Just look at people's necks. That will tell you everything.
Really?
the hands,
Because
their hands.
you can't fix this. You can't mess with that.
Beautiful.
But she has Italian blood.
That's right.
She has Italian blood. Some
I have Italian blood. Is that good? Does that mean I'm safe?
It helps.
Well, I don't know how you're going to age, but I know how she's doing. Because you never know. I don't know whether you're from the north or the south. It has to do with melatonin and what your family background is, and that's really what does it. Sometimes you find folks who are from Scandinavian countries, their skin just, it just wrinkles, and they wrinkle early.
Do you remember, I remember seeing photos of Audrey Hepburn, thinking about what Candace said as she aged, and it didn't look like she had anything done.
No.
She was gorgeous. She still looked like her. Yes, she was older. She had lived. It looked like a beautiful person who had lived and wasn't afraid to show that on her face.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to be that gutsy, but I hope I'm going to be that gutsy, because she was gorgeous till the end.
Well, you got to figure what you want in your life. Do you want to see your face as you get older?
I'd rather spend my money on a trip or something.
Yeah. Because the truth is, you can't hide it.
Yeah.
You can look good for your age, but you can't hide it. Because all you have to do is this, hey, and somebody goes, oh my God! We'll be right back. Because yeah, we are done.
Oh, it's over.
This is done. It went fast. We want to thank you for coming. We want to thank you for watching and suggest that you have a great day and take a little time to enjoy every little view you happen upon.